results. Revenue at 3.17 billion euros, up 4.2% year over year.
Reporting third quarter sales up 4.8%. Franklin Golf Romeo.
The Fed policy will be driven by the pace of the data. Same policy will remain accommodative.
Futures off, sessions low, still down about 1% on the day for a little more than 4 pennies.
Welcome, I'm Mike Bellafiore. We are live from the SMB Training classroom. We're going to talk about the optimal trading day. The goals for this presentation are to define the optimal trading day, to get you focused on what is truly important to become a consistently profitable trader, and of course to help you to improve as a trader. How do you define what your optimal day is? Is it how much money you made? Are there other ways that you measure having a really good day? Is it how big you traded in a particular setup? Is it how focused you were during the day? I would suggest that too many, of course, define their optimal day by how much money they make. Now, many can't answer this question. What is your optimal trading day? Are they number one in the firm? Are they defined by P&L? Are you in a good mood at the end of the day? Is it some other metric? P&L. If you're stopped out, what's your mindset? If you made a chop, what's your mindset? When you get stopped out, you always want to see that as a learning opportunity. You want to understand when you make chops that that doesn't necessarily mean you traded well. Your job is to think about concentrating on skill development. We're all developing traders. Our job is to build a bigger, stronger, better, more profitable playbook that makes the most sense to us. That's what we're always trying to do during each trading session if we want to sustain and be as good as we can be. So, a couple of our traders who we trained from scratch ended up starting their own firm a couple of years ago. And one of the firm heads shot me an email and asked me, what do I think about having a leaderboard up at their firm? And at our firm, we don't keep a leaderboard up. We have in the past, but we don't actually keep it up anymore. We do actually send out monthly results to all of our guys, and you can see, who was in the top 5. You can see who the new traders are who are doing really well. We do certainly send people printouts of personal bests to share with the desk. But during the intraday, we do not actually have a big screen up where people can go and take a look at how much money everyone's making. And so this trader from SMB, trained by SMB, who now has his own firm, is starting to ask, hey, why'd you do that? And should I do it? And we talked about it. And so, my questions to him were, well, what kind of culture do you want to create? There's no right or wrong answer for you guys to do this, but you got to understand your culture. Is your culture to get guys to be improving every day? Is your culture to, talk about the dream and talk about how much money you can make as a trader? Is your culture to be really, really huge and take on tons and tons of, what is it? What is your culture? And so our culture here is very distinct. Our guys come in and every day they try and get better. That's our culture. I'm not suggesting that's the only way to run a firm. That's just what works for us. That's our background. That's what we believe in. We believe in coaching and mentoring and getting better every day. I have a coach. I just actually signed up My wife's actually making fun of me for this. I actually just signed up for a behavioral coach at retrofit.com to help me with my exercise and my eating so that I get to my optimal weight. Okay, so I have coaches even outside of my trading coaches, and our guys here will get tapped on the shoulder during certain times, and I will suggest to them, hey, maybe you should go talk to a particular type of coach. We have different types of coaches. There's psychology coaches, there's subsets of psychology coaches. Some guys are better for improving guys' confidence. Some guys are better for really digging deep into a person's psyche. Some guys are much better with strategy. And some people are better at working with groups of people. And so there's a whole gaggle of coaches that we have our guys work with who the firm spends a great deal of money employing. And we do this for traders, whether or not they just started or they're 3 years in. I can tell you a story that one of our more promising traders was going through a period of time where you could see he was worn out. He was worn out. He needed to take a little bit of a break. He was placing way too much pressure on himself to make money, and he was manifesting that with behavior on the desk that wasn't healthy for himself. And so, we brought him in this room right here, and we sat him down, and I said to him, look, first I think you should go take a week off. Just go take a week off, clear your head. And this trader wasn't even, at this point, he wasn't losing money. And this isn't a story of a guy who was losing a lot of money. This is a story of a guy who was making money, but he wasn't making as much as he wanted to. And this is a trader who had made pretty good money in the past and was definitely being disappointed. And so we took a week off, came back, and then I sat down with him again. I said, look, why don't we get you to work with somebody? I'm not going to say that I'm not going to tell anyone you're working with this person. I'm not going to tell, and everything you say to the coach, I have no access to. This is completely between you and them. We will pay for it. Don't worry about that. Have as many sessions as you need, but go talk to somebody. See if they can help you not be so hard on yourself when you're trading, because I think this is, taking away from your profitability. This is a person who was wonderful at 98% of everything we asked of them, and they were just too hard on themselves, and we wanted to see if they could work on this, and so we did. And the trader went from a very good trader to good and very good, and I think last month he ended up making $63,000 and had a really, really strong month. And that wasn't going to happen. This is a developing trader. That was not going to happen if not for this person seeking out coaching. That wasn't going to happen if we didn't have a culture where we believed in guys ought to get better every day. And I don't think that that's the end of it for this particular trader. I actually think that as he grows and as he gets even bigger, there will be more coaching, there will be more taps on the shoulder, there will be more private discussions about, hey, let's get you a little bit more help. And so our culture is X. And so we're talking to one of the guys, and I said, just lay out your culture, figure out what it is. You go talk to your guys, figure out what's important to you, and then if it is about getting better every day, maybe you shouldn't have it up. If it is about making big money and only making big money, then think about putting it up. But for us, we think it's not as helpful for new and developing traders. So the leaderboard. Your goal is not to make money. It's to become an elite performer. So that's your job. Your job is to figure out, you can't make money first. You don't make money and then become happy. You don't make money and then become patient. You don't make money and then become disciplined. All right, first you have to be disciplined and patient before you can make money. And to do that, you have to be an elite performer. This is not an easy job. There's lots of people who tried to do this, and perhaps they didn't like the time frame, perhaps this wasn't the right time for them. but also they weren't just ready individually as a person to make a lot of money. And one of my most promising developing traders is in that box. This is a person who has lots of great strategies and has made a little bit of money in the past, but has been underperforming of late. And that person's underperforming because they're not ready to make money. They're not there yet. They're not mature enough as a person to be consistent. And we need to get them help. And that person is working on their game. And so focusing on that person not making as much money as they want is really bad for their progress. You want to be thinking about the longer term perspective. What are the things you need to do to become a consistently profitable trader for 20 years? And I wrote this on the blog. There's no destination for a trader. There's nothing to get. There's no destination for a trader. There's nothing to get. There is only continually working to improve every day. There is only continually working to improve every day. That is the game that you all are signing up for. Oh, that leaderboard. Why focus on someone else? We're all different. We don't share the same risk tolerance or trading skill. One of the best intraday traders today is somebody that we trained who had gone somewhere else and had been miserably unsuccessful, the Yipster, and had underperformed. And then we worked with him, became pretty good, became even better. And today, he's really one of the really great intraday traders on the street. Trades big size, has his own niche, knows what he's doing. And I remember very specifically this topic and his response from this and how important and meaningful it is for those of you out there who are developing, for those of you out who are new. This is an incredibly important, powerful response as to what the Yipster was saying when he found out that somebody else was doing really good. And the Yipster was never concerned about how much money somebody else was making. And he said, that's great for him, but I only care how I'm doing. And you should too. It's your journey. Oh, that leaderboard. So I've caught some guys looking at the leaderboard in the past, and we've told them to stop looking at it. And the reason for that is that you should never set artificial ceilings based upon how well other people are doing. And I can tell you this is what happens. People know who the firm leader, who the head trader is. People know who the experienced traders are. People know who should be making the most amount of money. And they go and they find those numbers, and they never, it's almost a form of being impolite. They never surpass those numbers because that guy is the head. That guy's the head trader. I can't make more money than him. I would be disrespectful if I did. You don't want to put an artificial ceiling on that. Just because that guy is the head trader, just because I've written 2 books, just because I started the firm, please do not think you can't make more money than I can. All right, please don't think that. If that's what you think, I'm doing a terrible job as a coach and a teacher. I'm doing a terrible job. This is your journey. This is how good you can be. You can be much better than anyone in the firm. You can be much better than anyone in a trading community. All right? Do not put artificial ceilings on your numbers. Others have no effect on your trading. All right, feeling good about yourself. Some have positive thoughts without skills, and that's not helpful. You can make a ton of money catching a high beta stock, doing all the wrong stuff. Feel good about yourself, but where are you building skill? I wrote this in a blog post. I wrote a blog post about the 10 top tips for trading live. And one of my points was to keep a trading journal. On our desk, developing and new traders complete a detailed trade review before they leave. Frankly, it's hard to take you seriously. It's hard to take you seriously if you're not keeping a detailed trading journal. I have a hard time. If you walk into my office, I can see all of the journals that everybody does on SMB U Performance Center. I can see all of that. I know all the work you're doing. Okay, we see all of it. I can't take you seriously if you're not doing a detailed trade review each day. and you're not doing a playbook trade each day. I can't get there. All right, so even if you made a lot of money and you're making a lot of money in the firm and you're not doing the work that all the really great traders who've come through SMB have done, I can't take you seriously. How to define an optimal trading day. So a while back I met with two talented traders after a huge day. And one of them happened to be Dr. Momentum from One Good Trade, who's the hands down the smartest, most talented trader who I've ever trained. He processed information so fast that it was just absolutely a pleasure to watch his brain work. And I brought these two talented traders into my conference room at the time, and asked them what they thought about their trading day. And one of them had made an awful lot of money, and the other one had also made an awful lot of money. But I noticed one of them took outsized risk in a particular setup, and it just happened to break for them. And I noticed the other one, who had made an awful lot of money, traded beautifully. There wasn't a lot of opportunity in the stock that person was trading. Was AIG at the time, and he just scalped that thing up and down, and it was a piece of art that he was actually able to pull $3,000 out of the market on that particular day. And I asked both of them if they had a good day. And sure enough, the guy who traded poorly thought he had a great day. And we had to have a longer discussion with him about why he really hadn't. Not to diminish his confidence in any way, but to set him on the right path, to give him the right mindset, to get him to understand that every day is a day for him to improve. So I wrote about this in One Good Trade. I still remember this when we were first starting years ago. I mean, this must have been 6.5 years ago. I laugh about thinking about what SMB was like back then, but we were a small group, and we were sitting next to a bunch of other smaller groups, and frankly, we were around groups we should have never been around, and this one group was just bringing anyone. The guy would bring in anyone. The way they were running their firm was more of an arcade. You had to slap down money, and they would just churn and burn, and lots of guys were coming in and out. And I remember at this other group, this other desk that was situated next to ours when we'd first started, I remember one of the guys, I can remember this clearly, one of the kids, it was like his third day trading, making a good trade, and he stood up and he just let out a huge cheer and started clapping. And I remember looking up, and I remember Steve looking over there being like, that guy's going to be out of the business in a month. Okay? There's no celebrating in trading. All right? You can be happy after the day is over, clap, go ahead. But your job as a trader is to make one good trade, and then one good trade. And if it happens to work out, that doesn't mean that you're smart. That doesn't mean you're handsome. That doesn't mean you're incredibly articulate or persuasive or attractive. It just means that that trade that you made, that good risk-reward opportunity that you found, worked out. That's what it means. And you got to sit back in your seat and concentrate, make one good trade. That's what we do. There's no celebrating in trading. So, two trades to hold I want to go over, both of them in AIG, and they're both really good trades to hold. One of them, AIG's in a range from 40.80 to 41.50. There's buying at the bottom of the range, and we're going to buy more if it breaks above 41.50. That's our idea. And we're going to short if it gets below 40.50. And another trade, we saw an inflection point intraday for AIG below 53.50. We want to trade on the short side, and above 55, we want to trade on the long side. So let's take a look. And so there's a key 41.50 level here in this AIG. And you can see we're watching the level, and it gets above that level. And our job, when we see setups like this, is to put on risk. And our job, when we see setups like this, is to figure out how to buy more And so when I look at this chart, instinctually, I see an opportunity to add more size at 42.25 just before 11 o'clock at around 10.50, where the stock's not trading below that. It breaks above an important intraday resistance level at 41.50. The stock at this point has been incredibly in play. In fact, in 2009, almost 70% of the firm's revenue was made in August and September for that year, and it was made almost exclusively in this AIG, which was incredibly in play during this time. We just crushed this AIG during that time period. It gets above 41.50 and you want to buy. It gets and holds 42.25 and you want to buy more. It gets above that 43 and you want to buy more. And the idea when you're judging your day is, did you take enough out of the marketplace with this wonderful setup? Not, did you make $3,000? Well, maybe you should have made $6,000. And AIG here, the next day, sets up a wonderful level at 53.30, and it busts below that. And your judgment for your trading day should be, well, did you get in? Did you set your alerts? Did you understand this stock was in play? Did you understand the levels that it could actually trade down to? Did you know the news? Did you know the short interest? Did you know all the things you need to know about how to attack this play? Did you get bigger when it couldn't get above 52? Did you add more when it was getting near that 51.50? Did you hold it for the real move? Did you have your reasons to exit before you actually got out of the trade? Did you do all those things? That's having an optimal trading day. And so we talk about trades to hold, and these are examples of trades that Moneymaker was in when he had a pretty good week. And the reason why he actually had a very, very solid couple of trades in this is because he was thinking about improving and expanding his playbook. You know, he made more than $10,000 in both of those days during slow summer days. He's not comparing himself to others, okay? He's thinking about how to get better. He's thinking about expanding his playbook. While other people are out playing golf, he's working on getting better. So there's been some interesting comments about optimal trading days in the community and in our blog. And so I asked this question, hey, how do you define an optimal trading day? And we have Eric121 who says, well, if there's significant price action plus volume and at least one or two stocks with identical trends and levels. Nervous Nelly said, if I followed my plan and took the exits as planned, usually I lose my nerve in all the action and exit too soon before my target. Your optimal trading day is about process. It's about you getting better. There's nothing you can do about whether or not the market is going to give you good stocks or good opportunities, but you can control your process. Some other comments. The Pitmeister, best trading days are when the market offers opportunities based on my best trading setups and the trades culminate in a profitable day. Second best are days when I have traded my setups and taken losses that have limited my downside risk, even if it means ending the day down a bit. Second to worst days are when I end profit, but due to sloppy trading. This has the potential of reinforcing a bad habit that would cause greater damage later. And the worst days are ending negative due to not taking losses properly. All right, so you know, Pitmeister does a nice job here of judging his trading based upon how he actually handled his risk during each day. Some more comments from JMJ Atlanta. When I learn something new or a new thought is confirmed, I end the day feeling I accomplished something. Awesome. That's a really wonderful way to judge your trading day. And he says, G-Man mentioned something the other day that hit me at the right time. He was talking about paying for information. Just that phrase changed my view about sending out feelers into the market and what attitude should be if a trade. So JM Atlanta is learning something new to make him a better trader. Definitely a huge part of an optimal trading day. After a few days working with my attitude adjustment, I saw improvement. I know I had an optimal day when I'm disappointed when 4 p.m. is near, whether I'm red or black, I know I'll improve tomorrow because I learned something today. Wonderful mindset there. So what's my optimal day? So my optimal day for my guys and for myself is making sure that you're coming in with a mindset of improving every day and finding a setup that you're getting better at, finding a new setup that you're adding to your playbook, building your skill. Okay, that's That's what I'm interested in. Even to this day, I'm thinking about, are there plays that I want to add to my playbook? Specifically, recently I've been thinking about fading some more. All right, and I haven't faded for a little bit of time, but I'm thinking about scalp fading some more to add some, to put on, to sort of find some cash flow during the intraday. And I've been working on that. And I certainly have traded that way for many years. And there's lots of really good opportunities about that. But I got to sort of understand, well, when I'm going to do it and when I'm not going to do it. Right, so that's my optimal day. Oh, I can't leave before this. An optimal day is also when I get to spend a lot of time with Lukey, who is now almost 6 months old, and he tends to like it when I read him books, and when I change his diaper, and when I let him jump around in his chair a lot, and when I take him for a walk outside. And so anytime I can do anything where I get the big Lukey smile, he has the biggest smile in the world, anytime I get a chance to see that, that's always certainly a really good evening. Define your optimal trading day. We all have different time periods, different goals, risk tolerance, skill levels, experience. My playbook is obviously thicker than most. I've traded longer than most. The idea is to be working on your playbook each day. That's your job. So what's the importance of defining the optimal trading day? If you cannot define what the day is, what the optimal day is, it's going to be harder for you to reach. You want to be working to achieve a goal each day. You want to be working to achieve daily goals, monthly goals, weekly goals. It helps you to prepare your mind to allow goals to manifest. And so certainly in the past, I found that if you don't understand what an optimal day is, it can leave you very frustrated. So I remember when I first started trading, $1,000 was a good day, and then $2,000 was a good day. When I made 1,000, I wanted to make 2. When I made 2, I made it to make 3. And I remember back in the late 90s when $25,000 was a pretty good day, thinking I should have been making 50. I remember making $25,000 in one particular trading day and being like, oh man, I left $25,000 on the table. And if you do this time and time again, you're going to just be frustrated and regret your trading days and every day. And so we wanted to get you to the point where you understand this is a long road where money's great, it will come, but you got to get the process right. Good example right here of shark versus the screamer. So some of the guys on our desk are learning an on-the-close trade strategy, and they're learning it from a 7-figure trader who trades with our JV. And they're learning the strategy. There's a lot to it. There's tricks. It's a pretty cool strategy. And so Shark's learning the strategy, and Screamer's learning a strategy. So both of them make the same play into the close. It doesn't work out. You can hear the difference into the close, after the close, in the mindset of each of these traders. And it is so clear why one we call Shark and one we call the Screamer. The way they reacted to this trade is so enlightening as to what Shark does really well and what this other trader could do well. And so Shark takes a loss, and you can hear him. He sits diagonally from me, and I can hear him saying, "Oh, it's the cost of doing business. It's the cost of learning a new setup. I'll take my loss." Gets out of his position. The other guy's, "How come I can't get out of this position? I can't believe I lost this amount of money in this position." Shark is sitting there understanding that there is this learning curve to this particular setup, and there's going to be this cost of doing business, perhaps at the beginning, to learning the setup, and he's all about trying to get better at it, whereas Screamer's all about trying to make money. How the F do I lose that much money? You want to be like Shark. So short-term goals. You can, particularly at the beginning of your trading career, get very depressed about your results because this is the worst you're ever going to be as a trader. The beginning of your trading career, that's the worst you're going to be as a trader. And so you can have a very, very profitable day and not have a good day in learning, and you can have a day where you rip it up and have a really good day in learning. And so at that beginning of your trading career, what's most productive and what's most important to becoming a CPT is have goals, make sure you're fulfilling your goals, Forget about the P&L, that will come. If you have any questions, you can reach me at mbellafiore@smbcap.com, and you can take a look at all the valuable information that we're sharing on our blog at smbu.com, and we'll talk to you soon.